Hey beautiful besties, welcome back to the Lucy Chronicles. Today I'm going to be sharing my TBR for the Beaches and Books readathon. So this is a month-long readathon that is going to be happening the entire month of July. If you missed my announcement video, I will link it down in the description. I will also link all of the other hosts' videos down in the description. I will also link all of the graphics down in the description, as well as list all the prompts for the readathon, and any books that I talk about, I will try to remember to put in the description as well. I'm not good at remembering to put the book titles down there, I'm sorry. And yeah, if you're gonna participate, we would love it if you would share your TBRs with us and use the hashtag Beaches and Books 2024, and make sure you tag all of us. Tag all of us, that would be awesome. There are 12 prompts, and I am crazy and have 12 books for these prompts, but I've been strategic about selecting these books. The awesome thing about this readathon is that you can double up, triple up, or quadruple up on the prompts. So like if you can find one book to fulfill all 12 prompts, that's a blackout. So that's really awesome. But the first prompt is to go to your library or e-library and pick a book. So for this one, we don't want you to select a book that's already on your TBR. We want you to go to the library, go to your e-library, or go to your Kindle Unlimited, which is what I had to do because my libraries did not have anything that appealed to me, because usually I use my library to order books that I want to read that I can't get on my Kindle Unlimited, because they don't usually keep a ton of Christian fiction in stock at my libraries. So, and I came across this little series that I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait for July 1st. But I've heard people talk about this author, but I don't think I've heard anyone talk about this series. Now, that's not saying that no one has ever talked about this series. I'm sure that there have been plenty of people who have talked about it. I just hadn't heard of it before. Okay, so the author is Annah Conwell. Is that how you say it? Is it Annah or Anna? And the series is the Sweet Peach series. And these books look so cute. They remind me, kind of, based on the description, they kind of remind me of the Getting Shipped series by Savannah Scott. But the first book is called The Love Audit, and I have to have my Kindle here because A, I don't really remember the synopses of each specific book, like which book is about which, and B, I don't have the physical copy to just read the backs. So if you see a little bit of a glare, I'm sorry, but I am reading the synopsis off my Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so the first book is called The Love Audit. I will put a picture here just so that you guys have it. So this is what it says. Working with my enemy shouldn't be this fun. Callum Sterling is a grumpy jerk, a ridiculously hot one, but still. I've battled with Callum during our quarterly conference calls over the past year, but now we get to spar in person. And not only are we forced to work together every week, but we have to spend time together outside of work too. At first I was ready to fight, but the chemistry between us becomes undeniable the more time we spend together. I'm not sure if chemistry makes a difference though, because Callum has a fortress of trust issues around his heart, making me wonder if we'll ever be more than enemies. The Love Audit is a grumpy sunshine. Okay, it's a grumpy sunshine, not an enemies to lovers. Oh, it is a grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers rom-com for fans of sweet romantic comedies. It has all the sizzling chemistry you love without any explicit scenes. Check out this first book of the Sweet Peach series, a 4-book sweet rom-com collection about best friends living in Atlanta, Georgia. So the love audit is going to fulfill my seashell prompt, but it also will fulfill a book about friendship, because I think these books are all about the same like circle of friends. It's going to be a book with 2 point of views. And it also takes place in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a beach town. So it would fulfill this bottom prompt. Okay, the second prompt is a book you save for later. So this one, I feel like this book has been in every single TBR video since March, since my first video. Or I've at least mentioned it or something. But Redeeming Love by Francine, or at least this author has been featured in every video. If you don't know what this is about, essentially it's a retelling of Hosea, which is a book in the Old Testament. And it is supposed to be beautiful. And I am excited, but I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. So, start a little stack here with my physical books. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but let's just turn it this way a little. Can you see it? Yeah, you can kind of. Okay. I kind of like that angle better anyway. So, okay. That would also fulfill the waves prompt, a book that made waves in the community. And it would also fulfill a book you think will be 5 stars. I believe those are the only 2 other prompts that will fulfill. But if I just read those 2 books, you guys, I've got the first top row done. Bam, I've got a bingo. Go to the library, pick out a book. That's the love audit. Book you save for later, Redeeming Love. Waves, a book that made waves in the community. Redeeming Love, a book you think is going to be 5 stars. Redeeming Love. So, the third prompt is Waves, a book that made waves in the community. So for this one, I'm reading If I Live, which is the 3rd book in the If I Run trilogy by Terri Blackstock. I finished the 2nd book. That will be part of my June wrap up. I am so invested in this story, you guys. So intense. I can't really say any more than that because you really gotta go in as blindly as possible with these. They're just so good. It gets to the point where I've added these to cart. Like, I already want to buy them. All 3 of them. They're so good. It's so, so good. So this is the 3rd and final book, and I am going to be finishing this trilogy in July. So the 4th prompt is Starfish, a book you think will be 5 stars. So for this one, I have chosen All That It Takes by Nicole Deese. I read the first book, which is here somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's okay. I bought these for myself for my birthday. So this is the first book in this little duology. How freaking cute are these covers? Like, I read this one from the library and I loved it so much. I just went and ordered both of them because Nicole Deese's writing is so good. It's so good. She is an author that I definitely want to read to zero. It's so good. But the first book, this one here, this book is about Molly. She's a social media influencer. She does fashion and beauty posts, and she's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So she's like really, really like big in the industry. But this book is about her best friend, I believe. Her best friend and assistant. This one, when the ever-cautious Val Locklear moves cross-country with her son for a secure job, everything she'd planned unravels within the first week. After Val reluctantly agrees to rent an apartment from her best friend's brother, an unexpected chance at an elite filmmaker's mentorship ignites fresh hope for a dream career. But as Val's community begins to expand, so do her insecurities, especially those heightened by her growing attraction to a certain friendly landlord. Pastor Miles Mackenzie returns home from a short-term mission trip to discover that not only does he have an intriguing new tenant living upstairs, he's also been reassigned to a local ministry on life support. Delusioned and restless, he distracts himself by throwing his energy into a host of new projects, not the least of which is pursuing Val, without stopping to consider the future. As Val struggles to stop hiding behind the camera and Miles wrestles with shattered expectations, they'll find that authentic love and sacrifice must go hand in hand. It sounds so good. And I gave All That Really Matters 5 stars. If this one's anything like this, it'll be 5 stars. So that's why I'm choosing this book for this prompt. Alrighty. Beach Party, a book about friends. So for this one, I'm going to read the second book in that Sweet Peach romance series. My best friend's brother broke my heart 5 years ago. Okay, we got best friend's brother tropes up the wazoo this month. He left me behind after our summer together to chase his dreams in Nashville. Now he's back, all rich and famous. Oh, it's a celebrity trope too. And my best friend wants us to write a song together for her wedding. Oh, that's really cute. The last thing I want to do is write a love song with a man who broke my heart, but I love my best friend too much to tell her no. He starts trying to win me back again with grand gestures and flirty lines, but I just can't give in. My mother chased my biological father down for years, and all it led to was heartbreak. I won't repeat her mistakes. So it's a second chance celebrity rom-com. It sounds like it's a best friend's brother as well, and I am super excited. So the next little bucket is ocean. So we need to read an underwater setting. So for this one, I am going to be reading Shattered by Dani Pettrey. This is the second book in the Alaskan Courage trilogy or series. It's not a trilogy, it's definitely a series. I read like the first chapter at the beginning of June. First chapter or two, I can't remember, but it was like right at the beginning of the month. I do not remember it, so I'm gonna be starting it over. So the Alaskan Courage follows 5 siblings who all live in this town called Yancey, Alaska. They're all like underwater diver, like type people. And I do believe each sibling has its own book, their own book. The first book was Cole's story. This book is going to be Piper's story. And Landon is a childhood friend. It's also her brother Gage's bestie, or Cole's bestie. He's basically part of their family. But Piper's been like a little sister to him. And it's just the slow burn that she wrote in the first book leading up to this is just awesome. And I'm very excited. All right, so the next little tale has a sun in it. So for this one, you need to read a book with either sun on the cover or yellow on the cover. And so for this one, I am reading the third book in the Sweet Peach series. Okay, so it says, I can't believe my best friend wants to be my fake boyfriend. My long-term boyfriend just broke up with me, and I swore off men for the new year because of it. So when I need a date to appease my mother during her Southern Society events, I'm forced to look into boyfriends of the fake variety. Bennett is quick to jump to the task, and the more time we spend together, the more I realize why I had a crush on him years ago. But if I'm breaking my man ban, I almost said my man bun. If I'm breaking my man ban, I want it to be for the real thing, the kind of forever I don't know that Bennett can give me. His girlfriends don't last long, if you can even call them girlfriends. Risking our friendship is one thing, but risking my heart? I don't know if I can do that. The first taste is a friends to lovers, fake dating rom-com. That sounds so cute. Friends to lovers, best friends to more. It sounds really cute. I love that trope. I really do. There's always miscommunication with that trope that sometimes kind of is annoying, but if it's done well, I don't care. It just sounds really cute. So this one would fulfill the yellow prompt. It would also fulfill the book about friends, the book with 2 point of views, and the book set in a beach town. So that's 4. At 5 if you count the seashell. Maybe I should read this one first, because they're all standalones. Like, I don't think you need to read them in order. And then a book with royalty or a castle on the cover. So the next prompt is Sandcastle. So I have a few options for this one. So I do have an order with my library for To Win a Prince by Tony Shiloh. It's the sequel to In Search of a Prince, which I read in April, I believe. It might have been March. It was March or April. I can't remember. And I loved it. It was like a really high 4 stars. It wasn't quite 5 stars, but it was really good. And I love Tony Shiloh's writing, and I just want to read it. But this one is about Brielle's best friend and her little love story. But then we also have a few here that would put me out of my comfort zone. The Silent Prince by C.J. Brightly. I do not know anything about this. I just heard Celestia talk about it. So this one would be an option. I also have To Break a Silence by Lydia May, another one that Celestia talked about. There was another one that Katie recommended to me called like The Mermaid's Tale or something like that. I can't remember the author. I'll put a picture here. All of these would have royalty of some sort, but they also take place underwater. So they would fulfill those prompts. But I would really like to read To Win a Prince. I think that is going to be the one I read. Okay, so the next little bucket has a beach ball in it. And for this one, you read a book about sports. And I am buddy reading this one with Celestia. And we are going to be reading Offsides by Lori Z. Scott. This is what Offsides look like. And let me see if I can pull up a description here. This one says, Dani Stevens' new senior year was going to be something else with her last season on the soccer team, the possible strain of losing a friendship, and crushes, all the crushes. But she didn't expect to be on the lookout for a sex trafficking ring in her town. When a young girl in her neighborhood seems to be in trouble with a pimp, Dani will do whatever she can to find out what she can and get the girl safely back home. Unbeknownst to Dani, there could be another predator on the loose, and if she doesn't watch her back, she could just end up being the next victim. This is Christian fiction, and it's young adult. And it sounds really good, and I will be buddy reading this with Celestia. I'm excited about that. Okay, and then a book with 2 point of views. For this one, I will be reading the 4th and final book in the Sweet Peach series. And this one is One Last Play. And this one says, I've spent 12 years caring for my niece, Maddie, who I adopted after my sister died. Having a daughter has made me picky when it comes to the women I spend time with, not to mention dealing with the pressure of being a college football coach. But when I spot MJ at a mutual friend's wedding, something draws me toward her. My friend tells me to forget about her, but how can I when she becomes Maddie's art teacher and our paths cross again? I ask her out, she turns me down. Rinse and repeat. But I don't plan on giving up anytime soon. My instincts are always right, and they're telling me Meadow Jane Carter might just be my future wife. One Last Play is an age gap, reverse Grumpy Sunshine rom-com. Oh, reverse. So he is the sunshine, she's the grump? Is that what that means? Is it gender reversed? And he's a single dad, so that's a trope that I love. Read a book during a rainstorm. I'm going to be reading during a rainstorm, because we have been getting a lot of rain here in Minnesota lately. The Nancy Drew Mysteries. This is The Famous Mistakes by Carolyn Keene. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with Christine over at Keen Cat Chris. I'll link her down below. I will link Celestia's channel down below as well. I'm super excited because I've never read Nancy Drew before, but she's like my mom's favorite as a kid. She loved her. And so I'm very excited to read this. Let's read the back of what this one says. I'm assuming that we don't have to read these in order. Am I right, Christine? Can you tell me? Can you tell me, please? Okay, so Dear Diary, Ned was so excited to interview the comedian Brady Owens for his podcast, Ned Talks. I tagged along to help with the interview, but when we went to Brady's hotel room, we found it completely trashed. Brady tried to pass it off as just some bad luck, but the director of the arts complex was worried and threatened to call off the show. The director agreed to let Brady perform, but only if I solve the case before the show. The trouble is that my only clue is a missing gold button. Am I in over my head this time? So this one sounds really cute. And I will be buddy reading this with Christine. I'm so excited. Second buddy read of the month. Okay. And then the last prompt is a book set in a beach town. And this is going to be my third and final buddy read this month. I will be reading with the lovely Pettrey over at Book Nerd Pettrey. Again, I'll link her down below. We're going to be reading Beaches, Bungalows, and Burglaries. This sounds absolutely adorable. This one says, Mae West, a far cry from the Hollywood actress, has been thrown for a loop. Her plush lifestyle in the big city of New York comes to a screeching halt after the FBI raids her mansion and arrests her husband, Paul West, for a Ponzi scheme that rips people out of millions of dollars. Mae finds herself homeless, friendless, and penniless. All hope isn't lost, though. The only thing May got to keep that the government didn't seize is a tourist campground, Happy Trails, in Normal, Kentucky, and an RV to live in. One problem: May's idea of camping has room service. By the look of the brochure, Happy Trails has plush Kentucky bluegrass, a crystal clear lake, a beach chair with her name on it, and thoughts of how much money it could bring her after she sells it. May figures she'll take a couple weeks vacation with her toes dipped in the lake, but things aren't always as they appear. The Kentucky bluegrass is nothing but dirt, and the crystal blue lake is murky with green slime on top. May quickly finds out that Happy Trails and the citizens of Normal were also victims of Paul's schemes, making her lower than the lake scum in the residents' eyes. May doesn't think things could get much worse, but as luck would have it, Paul West has escaped from prison and is found dead, murdered, floating in the Happy Trails murky green lake. May is the #1 suspect on Detective Hank Sharp's short list. After all, May has the perfect motive as a kept wife who has been scorned to ashes, embarrassed to death, and seeking revenge. Time is running out for May to prove that she's innocent and nothing like her husband. If only she could get someone to believe her and talk Detective Sharp into looking at other residents who've lost all their savings to Paul's Ponzi scheme before the curtain is closed on this Hollywood namesake. Sounds absolutely adorable. Yeah, so I'm excited to read that with you, Pettrey, and hopefully it goes better than our first buddy read. She and I both didn't really like the book that we were gonna buddy read in June. We both ended up DNFing it, and so we decided, I told her, I said, well, I'm gonna be reading this for the readathon. Does it interest you? And she's like, yes. And she was able to get it from our library, so we're gonna be buddy reading that in July. I'm so excited. So yeah, I believe that is everything. That is my TBR. I'm super excited. I can't wait. Again, please let us know if you're participating. We definitely want to hear your TBRs. We definitely want you to tag us. Also remember to use the hashtag Beaches and Books 2024 for any platform outside of YouTube. You can use that same hashtag here on YouTube, but definitely if you post anything on the other platforms, make sure you use that hashtag. I am on Facebook, and I do a little bit on Instagram. I don't post regularly there because I'm still learning, but I'm definitely doing a lot more than I used to. I've been posting less on Facebook. I kind of have them kind of synced so that if I put something on Facebook, it automatically goes to Instagram and vice versa. But for the most part, I am the most active here on YouTube. But I do believe that Katie is active on Instagram, and I think that Teresa is, and I'm pretty sure Lou is as well. So you can definitely check them out over there. But anyway, I hope you guys have a really, really great week. It's currently Saturday, but by the time you see this, it'll be Monday. I think the next video I'm going to do is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tag. And then immediately after that, I will do the Q&A. So if you missed it, drop a question in the comments. I also put a couple of posts over on my community tab requesting questions from you guys. I've gotten quite a few so far. I'm nervous that I'm going to have to break it up into different parts for the videos. We'll see. We'll see. But the Q&A is coming soon, guys. I promise. And yes, I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I will see you soon with another video.